very typically, when you have a waterborne parasite, we're talking about something that has a fecal-oral transmission strategy where the feces find their way into water, and then the water, contaminated water, is consumed, and thus leading to infection of the next host. So we can once again talk about rules of thumb. So there's less concern about host health by waterborne pathogens, and in fact, they can even decrease host health to their advantage, causing diarrhea, which is a means by which they can be transmitted out of infected hosts. There is less concern about mobility, particularly if this diarrhea can basically get all over everything. That's a pretty effective route towards transmission. On the other hand, it is helpful if it's a waterborne pathogen for the diarrhea to find its way into a water supply, which may require some degree of host mobility. There's often a relatively short transmissibility window from the host. However, there is or can be a relatively long transmissibility window from the water. Once the parasite has made it into the water, it can remain infectious for fairly long periods of time. With giardiasis, you can actually have fairly long transmissibility windows out of the host, and also long persistence of the giardiasis within water, or the giardia within water. High extra-host durability is important, which of course increases the transmissibility window to new hosts, but not necessarily from the host. That is, persistence in the water is one of the things that can allow for these parasites to be effective in causing and transmitting diseases, because their job basically is to find their way into water and just stay there until a new host picks them up by drinking the water. There also can be potentially high disease severity, particularly if these diseases are limited by the host immune system in some capacity. These pathogens, because they don't really care about, or parasites, because they don't really care about host health, their job is to make as many of their babies as they can and transmit as many of those babies out of the host, such as via diarrhea. And so they can cause quite a bit of disease, again, which is seen with cholera. So virulence can be high in the short term, since so long as parasites can reach the water, then water serves to connect infected hosts with susceptible hosts. The lethality of diarrheal bacteria is correlated positively with the extent to which they are waterborne. Among Shigella, for example, severe strains have been disproportionately common where the potential for waterborne transmission is high. And again, that's from Ewald.